Hello, lovelies, the Purple Fam, and all the beautiful people out there. Hey, it's your girl, Simone RC. Welcome back to Prince, the 90s series. If you haven't watched the deep dive of Diamonds and Pearls tracks 4 through 7, make sure you go check that out first, because we just broke down one of the most dynamic sections of this album. Now we're moving into the next phase of Diamonds and Pearls, and this is where things start to shift, where Prince stops trying to impress people and starts revealing who he really is. Tracks 8 through 11, we have Walk, Don't Walk, Jughead, Money Don't Matter Tonight, and Push. They're not the obvious hits, but they're some of the most revealing moments on the album. Not louder, not bigger, just deeper. Up to this point, Diamonds and Pearls feels polished, controlled, confident. But starting with Walk, Don't Walk, the emotional and philosophical layer of this album begins to show up. This section isn't really about hit singles. It's about identity, pressure, reinvention, survival. And Prince explores all of it in completely different ways. Walk, Don't Walk might be one of the most underrated songs on Diamonds and Pearls. No official music video for this track was ever commercially released. And it kind of makes sense, because underneath that bright groove and those smooth harmonies, Prince is talking about individuality, confidence. And that's what happens when society decides certain people should stay quiet, stay small, stay in their lane. The song sounds warm, almost carefree at first, but lyrically, Prince is pushing back against conformity. He's talking about the pressures people face when they walk with confidence, when they think differently, when they refuse to shrink themselves just to make other people comfortable. And what really stuck with me while researching this song is how much it connects to the philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson. Now, I know this sounds unexpected. Prince and a 19th century philosopher in the same conversation. But stay with me here. Emerson believes society tries to turn people into copies of each other. Those institutions, expectations, and social rules slowly disconnect people from who they really are. And Walk, Don't Walk feels connected to that exact idea. Prince is basically saying, people get uncomfortable when you move through the world with confidence and individuality. So don't let them define your path. Keep walking anyway. That message feels just as relevant as it did in 1991. Because Prince just wasn't talking about rebellion just for the sake of rebellion. He was talking about protecting your identity, your spirit, your self-worth. Musically, you can hear the influence of Sly and the Family Stone in the percussion, the layered vocals, and the looseness of the groove. But underneath all of that brightness, there's resistance in the lyrics. And that's what makes the song deeper than people realize. Track 9, Jughead. Prince completely flips the energy with Jughead. Now, this is the track. Either people love or they skip immediately. There is almost no middle ground. What makes Jughead fascinating is it didn't actually begin as a traditional Prince song. The original rap came from Tony M, Kurt Johnson, and Damon Dixon. They were part of the Game Boys and the MPLS side project connected to Prince's world. And when Prince saw them perform it at Glam Slam in Minneapolis, he loved the energy so much that he brought it into the Diamonds and Pearls session. Unlike most Prince tracks, where Prince dominates it vocally, Jughead is driven heavily by Tony M's rap style, while Prince focused more on building the sound and energy around it. That's part of what shocked longtime fans, because this was Prince going headfirst into hip-hop experimentation in the early 90s. Fast, loud, loop-heavy, chaotic. But then the story gets even crazier, because after the album came out, Jughead became a part of a massive lawsuit. Prince's former manager, Steve Farnioli, claimed the lyrics were targeting him personally, especially the line about artists being manipulated by unethical management. Prince's camp denied it, saying the song was simply commenting on the music industry overall. But either way, the controversy became a part of the song's legacy. That chaos fits the song perfectly, because Jughead was never supposed to feel safe or polished. It feels like Prince opening a door to disorder on purpose. And whether people love it or hate it, they remember it. Track 10, Money Don't Matter Tonight. And then suddenly, the album gets very real with Money Don't Matter Tonight. Now, this isn't Prince making social commentary. This feels like Prince looking directly at the world around him and asking what people are becoming because of money. Released during the economic uncertainty of the early 1990s, around the time of the Gulf War and rising financial struggles, the song examines greed, poverty, class inequality, and the way society bends itself around money. But what made it powerful is how calmly Prince delivers it. The song opens with the image of a gambler losing at blackjack, somebody chasing money without understanding its real cost. And from there, Prince expands the song into something much larger. Not just about cash, but about values, about what happens when materialism becomes more important than humanity. That contrast is what makes this song brilliant, because musically, it sounds smooth, warm, almost comforting, but lyrically, it's one of the harshest critiques Prince has ever wrote about society. And then there are the music videos. Version 1, Prince brought in legendary filmmaker Spike Lee to direct it, which makes perfect sense once you watch it. It shows a poignant narrative about an economically struggling African American family just trying to get by. It includes sobering footage of the Gulf War, poverty, and political themes. Prince himself does not appear in this version. Very little glamour, very little fantasy. And because the first video was considered too political and not MTV friendly at the time, a second version had to be created. Directed by Satara Cheddar, this alternative cut shows Prince and the new power generation casually performing the track inside a recording studio. It was filmed to give MTV and other networks a version that featured Prince's actual image. And that tells you everything about the era. What makes Money Don't Matter Tonight hit even harder inside Diamonds and Pearls is where it appears on the track list. After the personal freedom of Walk Don't Walk and the chaos of Jughead, it feels like Prince is pulling the camera back and showing the bigger picture. Track 11, Push. And then we arrive at Push. After everything this section of the album explores, identity, chaos, money, survival, Push feels like a movement forward. Recorded in February 1991, Push feels like Prince responding directly to the criticism and pressure during one of the biggest transitions of his career. At this point, he was leaning heavily into contemporary R&B, hip-hop, and New Jack Swing, and not everybody was happy about it. But instead of retreating, Prince pushed harder. The song becomes a manifesto about resilience, about ignoring people who try to slow your momentum down. And the collaborative energy on the track really matters here, with Rosie Gaines and Tony M helping create that feeling of movement and determination throughout the song. During Tony M's rap, he actually references other songs from Diamonds and Pearls in the exact order they appear on the album, which makes Push feel connected to everything that came before it, like the whole album is moving toward something. And this song ended up becoming strangely personal for me, because I found out that Push was recorded on February 5th, 1991, which happens to be my birthday. And not just any birthday. This was the first birthday that marked a completely different chapter of my life. So, when I hear this song now, the message hits differently. It's not just a keep on keeping on, but push forward. Even after difficult endings, even after reinvention, even after people doubt where you're headed, push. That spirit is all over Diamonds and Pearls. Prince wasn't standing still. He was evolving in real time. And Push feels like the sound of someone refusing to stop growing. Walk, don't walk. Jughead. Money don't matter tonight. Push. These aren't just overlooked tracks. They're the section of Diamonds and Pearls where Prince starts to peeling back those layers. When the album becomes philosophical, more experimental, more political, and more human. And maybe that's why these tracks stay with people. Because underneath the grooves, the experimentation, the commentary, Prince was still asking the same question he's always asked. Who are you when the world wants you to be somebody else? In this part of Diamonds and Pearls, it shows you something different about Prince. Not just the sound, but the risks he was willing to take, the messages he wanted to say, and the moments where he let the music become something bigger than entertainment. That's what makes this album so layered, so fearless, and so relevant today. So if you skipped on these songs before, go back and listen to them again, because hidden inside this section of the album are some of Prince's boldest ideas. Hey y'all, if y'all are enjoying this series, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. We're heading into the final stretch of Diamonds and Pearls with Insatiable and Live for Love. And I really want to hear from you. Drop in the comments which track connected with you the most. Walk, don't walk. Jughead, Money Don't Matter Tonight, or Push. Stay tuned because there's still much more coming from Prince, the 90s series.